Hello?
Mm. Oh, we're here.
Hello? Hello, Jeffrey.
I was just looking at my rock.
Oh, what's it a rock from?
It's a paperweight. It is a rock, though. Let's see it.
A couple of presidents ago, the entire administration was looking at a rock. Get it? Get it? Get it?
That was a dad joke.
Yeah. Oh, shameless. In other news, StreamYard, which is what we use,
Yes.
in no way, shape, or form are they affiliated with any kind of sponsorship, although they should be. We found multiple ways to break it, so they keep fixing it. So they've changed their logo. Did you see that, Jeff?
I did see that the rebrand. Yeah,
the rebrand. It's a duck wearing what appears to be oversized headphones and with a big S on it.
Right.
I'm glad they didn't try to add a stream, a yard, a duck. All the things that go into logos when people are playing the life story literal game.
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, I've seen that all the time. So hey, folks are showing on up. I see we've got, who is it, Duntingy's in the house, and some of these other characters, Stephen, I can never say that right. We've got Stephen and Stefan. Okay, cool. That was so bad I ran, he says. That was Stephen.
Oh, Jesus, that's worse.
We are off to a epic start today. Super cool. Anything new in your world, Jeff?
I looked out my window this morning, and there was a chicken.
And you did take a picture of it, yes?
I did.
Please share with the group.
Just wanted to share.
Did you share that? There it is.
I did. It's up there. Yeah.
Was he anywhere near your grill or your Wheelie's barbecue rub?
No, because my grill's up on the deck, but it's not my chicken. It's a neighbor's chicken. So
if the chicken's on my property, it's getting a rub down and it's getting grilled.
It's a lot of work, though. I don't think it might not be worth it.
Well, I mean, if you throw it right on the grill, those feathers should burn right off. You know?
Right. This isn't like some movie where all of a sudden there's a chicken ready to eat.
True. We've got two guests today. It's going to be spectacular. We're talking about growth. We're talking about, the machinery behind growth. What's it take for a CPG brand, food and beverage, or any brand really, to grow? There's the people, the rooms, the access, the timing. And we're going to talk a little bit about why too many brands still mistake activity for momentum. I had a boss a long time ago when I was a bartender. He was the bar manager, and he was like, look, the restaurant manager's up there in the window, sitting in their office, looking down to make sure you're working. And if you're just sitting here watching the TV, which is what we would do all afternoon when nobody was there, he said, you got to do this. You just do this with your arms behind the bar, like a crazy, wacky, inflatable guy. And I was like, what? Why would I do that? He's like, it looks like you're cleaning. It looks like you're cleaning glasses and doing things. I was like, oh. And so that's what I would do. Yeah. That's activity with no intent, no effect. It is activity being mistaken for momentum or effectiveness or action. So cool. So we're going to, just as a tease, we're going to be talking about this thing that everybody's talking about from coast to coast, George Norrie. We're going to be talking about CPG X, what it is, why it needs to exist, what the gap is it's trying to fill, and whether or not it will create the kind of environment the brands actually need instead of just another event logo and lanyard situation. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that said, 2 guests. Here we go. 1 breath, 2 guests. Let's see if we can do it. Okay. First guest is they're coming on together. First guest is a 4th generation entrepreneur in the CPG world with more than 2 decades of experience across distribution, sales, and brand growth. He's the founder of CPG X, built to connect emerging brands with buyers, operations, and service providers through intentional events and community. At the core, his work is a belief that businesses still run on relationships, execution, and helping the right people win. Also, he is responsible for bowling a 300 game, which tells me that he knows what it feels like when everything locks in. And that's going to be Mr. Shannon Peffley. And then the other fellow is a recent guest of ours as well, founder of FS Octopus. Say that 3 times fast. He is a fellow that understands what it takes to build, grow, and navigate the real world complexity that comes along with scaling in and around this space that we're talking about. So he's seen enough to know the difference between a smart growth and performative nonsense, theater, if you say. And this makes him the right guy for this conversation as well. Please welcome Shannon Peffley and Mike Levinson.
Nice.
What the hell are
Welcome,
Peter? What the hell are you talking about? I had no idea what that was about me. That's not me.
Oh, I told you, if you don't send a bio, I'll make it up.
You made that was AI, totally AI, because that is not me at all.
Well, you know, I was one step away from saying he was road crew for he was the bass roadie for Lemmy Kilminster for 3 decades, and he barely made it out alive. So
that'd be way better.
That would have been better, wouldn't it?
I actually was falling asleep. Your voices make me fall asleep.
Oh. Let's just do this one thing for the people who've joined us today, that we're not AI. We're gonna put 3 fingers in front of our face.
Shannon, can you do it in front of your face, Shannon? In front of your face. There it is. Okay,
there we go.
Otherwise,
okay, now we're good.
No soup. Gavin Conkle just showed up. Gavin, how are you? Good to see you, sir. All right. So why don't we do this? I mean, I probably said too much, obviously. If you read the book reviews, the audio book I did for somebody, there was a woman that said, I sound like a dickhead. So, you know, she's probably right.
She said you look like one, not sound.
Yeah, she probably, maybe. I'm not going to go any further down that road. Why don't you guys tell us a little bit in your own words about what brings you into this space and what keeps you going forward in it and why?
I'll go first on that. So I've been in this space, as you said, over 2 decades. Working with brands has brought a ton of joy, and it's also brought a ton of headaches working with founders that just don't want to listen, that they've had success in past lives and past businesses. And I've been in this industry most of my life. My great-grandparents owned grocery stores. My father did. He owns a distribution business now, and now I'm still in it. And honestly, I've been trying to get out of it my whole life. I took a step away last June, spent the summer with my kids, was training for a half Ironman, and was trying to figure out what I want to do next. And I got pulled back into the industry, of course. And it was like, where do brands have the most trouble and what can really help them? And I realized that they want to get in front of buyers. The best place to get in front of buyers is trade shows. The problem with trade shows are they're too expensive. Most of these brands can't afford to do that. So I was like, what am I really good at? I'm great at creating experiences for people. I have a couple outdoor businesses that I do seasonally. And I figured, hey, let's kind of create an experience for brands and operators and really make this fun. Make this something that's fun, affordable, accessible, where we can connect buyers, brands, service providers all in the same area, but not just put them in the same room, but give them the tools, give them the education, help them understand why people are doing what they're doing and how we can help connect them in a better way.
Very good.
That's
very
awesome.
good. And Mike, what's your problem?
How many times did Shannon say help? 3, 4, and that's
I think the final count on my end was 5.2.
5.2. Okay, I got around there, so we're on the same page. Shannon likes that word help. What do I do is I work with retail CPG brands that are desperate to get out of retail because they're getting their ass kicked.
Yep.
I have some facts and figures for you. $330 billion industry private label. 24% of the aisles at grocery stores are private label. It's not going to get any better, folks. 50% in the next 2 to 3 years. What does that mean? You've got a brand, you're renting space at retail, you better have deep pockets or a hell of a product to stay on retail shelves. You are going to get gobbled up and kicked out by the private label or by the big boys out there. And there's 10, 12 real big conglomerate brands. What I do is, with the small team that I've built, we focus on retail CPG brands that want velocity and some profits and better margins. And I'm sure I'm going to get shit for this from people that are like, oh, the margins aren't good. And overall, micro market, corporate campuses, colleges and universities. Peter froze on us. Oh, no, you didn't. I thought you froze for a minute.
I just fell asleep. I'm sorry.
Corporate campuses.
So why not?
Yeah, when I'm talking. Colleges and universities.
Yes.
Hospitality. Anything small format, the velocity is tremendous. It's very fragmented. I know how to navigate those jungles and take brands into the right channels and the right distribution for their product. And I've got some amazing people that work with me, for me, that cover all the corporate campuses, Meta, Google, Nike, OpenAI, Salesforce, you name the corporate campuses, as well as C-stores, college, university, micro markets. There's a lot out there that are small ponds, lakes, and rivers, as we talked about before, versus the large ocean of retail.
Interesting. Okay.
I didn't say the word help either, did I?
No, you didn't. You
I
didn't.
won't.
Attaboy. Good. I always say, like, when people say, I help so-and-so, it's like, are you, you're insinuating there's something wrong with me and I need it.
Right.
But that's my thought. I could be dead wrong. So, guys, let's talk a little bit about CPG X, right? Because I'm seeing, it's funny because we talked a little while ago, Shannon, and it came up. And Jeff and I just went to a trade show in Boston. It was the, what was it, Jeff?
Seafood Expo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, North American Seafood Expo. Which, you know, it was interesting. It was what I expected it to be. And I think a lot of the things I hear about these trade shows is it's too expensive to get in. It's chaos. I don't know, depending on each brand or each company that's there, you know, their level of expertise at how to run one of these things or how to run a booth it varies greatly. But let's talk a little bit about CPG X and what the real impetus behind this idea. Well, let's talk about what it is and then what drove you to it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the ultimate goal behind CPG X is we're going to be hosting our own emerging brand show in 2027 in Savannah, Georgia. That's the ultimate goal. We're going to make it affordable, accessible for brands that are doing less than 12 million a year in sales. Our goal behind that is, you know, the average booth cost is going to be about $2,500. It's going to be based on a scale of what your yearly revenue is. And we're going to be able to, we're not going to, couple different reasons we picked Savannah, but part of the reason we picked it is because they are a non-union convention center. So we don't have to worry about dealing with unions, nickel and diming, you know, oh, you need a package delivered? Well, that's $200. Oh,
Yes.
you need to take into the freezer? That's $150.
Yeah.
We're going to make this one of the most affordable shows for brands to be at, and working with retailers, distributors, in almost every category in the alternative channel as well, to get buyers to this show. The show itself is CPG X, the experience where emerging brands get discovered. I mean, and that's the whole idea of it is to make this old school vibes, new school opportunities, and make it a fun, entertaining show where deals actually get done and brands get brought into, new locations and placement there.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
beyond the the cost is the kind of like the obvious. Like you look at like Expo West, like what it costs to do something like that. What are you seeing? Like, what else are you seeing in the market that made you think, well, this really isn't working either? One of the things that I noticed too is that I tried to make meetings with different people when I was at the show, and if I did 30% of them, I was lucky, right? Because things just don't happen like you expect them to, right?
Yeah, they don't, and scheduling meetings is tough. We have a couple different ideas of what we're going to be doing. The one thing I notice with a lot of trade shows is, one, they usually cross over weekends, and this is not going to be a weekend show. It's going to be during the week, a Tuesday through Thursday. Part of our show is the biggest idea behind this is ROI. Nobody wants to go to a show and walk out and be like, I didn't get any value out of that. So how do we create a ROI? One, making sure that the right people are there, connecting them together. When someone signs up, hey, give me a list of 10 retailers that you would really want to meet with and that would really check that box, that would make it worth it for you. Secondly, we're going to, a portion of our profits, we're still looking at that number. It's probably going to be around 20% or so. 20% of the profits of the show are going to go back to the brands that paid for booth space. So something that no other trade show probably anywhere has done. We're going to be giving free booth space to distributors. If distributors want to be there, we'll give you as big as booth space as you want. You have to invite all of your retail customers and all of your customers to the show as part of that agreement, so that, one, hey, if you're a distributor and you have 500 or 1,000 customers and you invite all of them and 10% even show up, it's more customers that are coming in the door. Now you have distributors on the floor, you have their customers on the floor. If a customer wants it and you're not in that distribution, now you can get introduced right to the distributor right there while they're on the floor. So making those connections, putting everybody in the same room, making that valuable. And then something that we're doing that's a little different than any food and beverage trade show is the last day of the show, we're opening up to consumers, where consumers can come in and actually purchase product off from the booth so that they don't have to ship it home, they don't have to throw it away, they don't have to donate it, where they're at least getting a little bit of ROI out of that last day. And it's also going to keep them from packing up because they don't know who's going to walk by and want to buy something off their shelf. So it gives them access to new customers, which is ROI from there. So this is a show where the exhibitors that are going to be there, that's going to be the focus of our show.
That's brilliant. I love the part about opening it to consumers on the last day. That's such a smart choice. And then with Mike, you obviously saw the gaps, maybe different gaps. Where do you fit into the CPG X scheme?
Support Shannon on his advisory board, if you will. Good. That was a good job, Shannon. He look, I've known Shannon for many years. He got upset with the structure of the trade show industry now. And that's what drove him to do this. It's a very, very big project. It's very expensive, and he's going to come out swinging really hard and heavy. Hopefully I've given him some good suggestions, advice, and at the end of the day, there really are two big players. There's, besides private label, there's the Goliath out there, the Unilever, Conagra, Mondelez, Kraft, Nestle. I could keep going.
Huge. Yeah.
12, 15 big, huge brands that really own the trade shows. They can afford to spend $500,000 or $1 million on a trade show. It's not a problem to those guys. More power to them. The problem is the little guys, the Davids of the David versus Goliath, are the ones that have the problems and are in the back of the convention center, which doesn't make sense to me. in my opinion, no one's asked, but I'm going to say it. Why don't you put the big boys in the back? Put the Mars and Hershey's and Mondelez in the back that have big booths. Why? That's what's going to gravitate everyone toward, and have the little vendors, if you will, the suppliers in the front. So this is going to be an amazing experience, and I'm going to do what I can to support and get brands there, and do whatever I can help to. I'm not, and you didn't use this, Shannon, disrupt the industry. I don't use that term, but to really shake it up. I'm trying to be politically correct, but the problem is the team, the company behind Expo. I won't say the real word of Expo West, what it's really called, but Expo Waste. But you didn't hear that from me. That's Expo Waste. The New Hopes and the Specialty Food Association, great organizations. However, they are making the money. They're the profit. The booth space and all of that is very expensive. So they're the ones profiting. I just have a big question, general, outside of CPG X. I have a question about Expo, about Fancy, about NACUS, NAMA, NACS. I could keep Restaurant Association, all these trade shows. And no one has this answer. This is a rhetorical question. What's the ROI? Truth be told.
Right.
Don't bullshit me when people say, oh, it's great. Okay, you had 20 leads. Did you land something? They won't tell you, because most of the time, no one lands anything. Great marketing. It's great to get in front, to connect and network, and you have FOMO. But to actually make a deal and spend $20, $30, $50, $100,000 for some of these little brands, what is the return of investment? Goose egg. Please, anyone listening, watching, show me data, prove me wrong. Okay, most people can't, because I know the industry. Yeah,
and we've got some good comments out there. I see one popped up here from Gavin.
Gavin stalks us all the time.
Does he really? Says, I was skeptical at it at first, but disruption is the best way to upend the old guard. Shannon has done a great job of being loud in a positive way. What he is doing.
It sounds a lot like my report cards from elementary school. Peter's a creative boy. Needs to focus more.
Look, I am the little guy, so I got to play nice. I mean, there's some, these other trade shows, there's a need for them as well. There's a need for all of them. I'm just doing something a little different that is for the small guy, that is making it affordable, making it accessible, and helping them not be part of that statistic of brands that fail year over year. That's my goal. That's the ultimate goal, is to help those brands not be part of that statistic.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I noticed at the Seafood Expo was just that how much, how it was, we went there because we were visiting a client or two, and then, just kind of meet and greeting some of the people in the industry. It's an industry that we're fascinated by and that we're interested in. And that was a lot of fun. But then it was, there's the redhead stepchild of the group, where they're like the machinery and manufacturing equipment and all that stuff. They're all tucked out in the back, sitting around looking bored out of their gourd. But I found those to be some of the conversations that, to me, were, at least from my point of view, creating the ROI for me was visiting with them and talking to them, because it's just interesting. You look at the point of it all was that there was these seafood brands and all of this product, but the guys literally behind what makes it get to market in the first place. They all had interesting stories and points of view also. So at these shows, there's an opportunity to really mix it up with a variety of people from different backgrounds that are all sort of entangled, right?
But yeah, I was just going to say, in trade shows in general, I've been to a whole bunch of them, and it was always like this there's always like a us against them thing going on in there. And that was one of the things I picked up early on, and like the black sheep booths, like the ones that are next to the restroom or the cafe, the ones that had a obstructed view, right? You couldn't put the booth display you wanted to, like, because that's all you could afford, right? And it's like you're being you feel it like you can't be in that space that's going to get attention, have the right sight lines, all those things, because you don't have the bread, right? You don't have the money to put behind it. And it's those, and to Mike's point, it's those guys, those other guys, the big guys, are going to get the foot traffic. Everybody's already got scheduled meetings with them. So let them walk past the booths where the people need to meet new people, right? Like, to me, that should be the goal of the show. And it seems like it's flip-flopped.
It is. It's about location of the trade shows. Not to go too much in the weeds, one of the big problems with most retail CPG brands at a trade show is they overcomplicate their message. So you walk by a booth and you go, what the hell are they trying to, like, what is it? Right? Mm-hmm. There's not a right or wrong way to do things, however, simplicity, offering a product that a buyer that walks by is interested in, being engaging. I walked with Shannon and a few other people at Expo, and people were on their phones. Like, you don't know who's walking up. And if I walk up and the Target buyer walks up, they kick me out because the Target, like, I don't like this quote that everyone likes to throw around is, I treat the janitor the same as the CEO. Bullshit. No, you don't. They all size up everybody else, right?
Yes.
So you don't know who's who and what's what walking. And there's too many examples to give on this time frame about people that blew me off. And I'm like, you have no idea what I can really truly do for your business because I don't have a Target or Whole Foods badge on. Truth. But that's the issue is that these brands are so focused on a beautified booth and spending all that money, they don't need it at all.
Yep, I would agree with you all the way around. I do think that when you're live in person, a lot of people, even the bigger brands, are guilty of this. They don't know how to act with people. They don't even have. I think a lot of the problems come from, the people they send to the show. They've got to be people. They've got to be engaging and attentive, and they've got to be on all day. And tough luck. I know it's a lot, but that's what you're there for. I did see a lot of that. I've always seen a lot of phones in use, and even the people that have like a little trash barrel if they're sampling, when that thing starts to spill over onto the floor, it's my first impression of you is yuck. Like, and you're not even paying attention. Like you're yuck, you're ick, and then there's another layer of like indifference. Like, you're not going to clean that up. Is that someone else's job? So part of that booth experience to me is not only just about the look and the grandeur and how much you spent. You can have a shitty little table with a skirt and a tablecloth, and it can look great, clean, simple, clear, and you can be engaging. I'm the guy you want at your table, right? I was telling Jeff this. I said, if someone fucking makes eye contact with me at this event, I'm gonna talk to him. Right. Fuck him. If you look at me, I'm gonna talk to him.
That's it.
If you don't want to talk to me, don't look at me. And that's the kind of people you need.
How are you? And throw your shit at someone, right? Like,
right.
Look, at the end of the day, a trade show, the real definition of what you're supposed to do at a trade show is network, connect, have an agenda of what you're looking to attain, have a clear message. Because if you really truly think about it, and brands don't think this way, think about a category buyer. Think about Expo. I'll pick on Wegmans buyer. Okay, there's many of them. A Wegmans buyer goes to Expo, and there's 3,400 brands, booths. Okay, and you think that your child or your little puppy is the only one that they're looking at, and it's not. So clear, simple, and get them to taste the product, get a business card. And what do you do after the trade show that most don't do?
Follow up.
We have a great question. Go ahead.
Well, I'll answer the question there too.
Oh, yeah.
From Jerry, how many emerging brands do I expect at the show? So something Mike did, this was Mike's idea that we did it here a couple of weeks ago, and we just launched, I believe, last week, is we're doing a road to 1,000. Road to 1,000 brands. That's our goal. If we hit it, great. If we get pretty darn close, amazing. But that's our goal, is to have 1,000 brands booths there at our show there. But one thing to touch on what we were just talking about there is part of my goal starting into next year, probably 3 months out from the show, is to start doing webinars and calls with the brands that sign up and educate them on, hey, this is what, these are the buyers that are going to be here. These are the buyers you said, like, here's how to reach out to them and get them samples a while so that you can set up calls, set up meetings ahead of time so that, when you get to the show, that it is just another touch point, because the touch points of getting in front of buyers is, you got to reach out to them 15 times now in order to get a hold of them. So now it's, let's get everything done so that when you're at the show, they're walking by and they're going, hey, it's a yes, we're going to bring you in. And then at the show, you're getting that yes, where it's not the first touch point you're finally getting in front of. We want to educate these brands that are going to be at the show ahead of time to make sure that they are set up for success. How are you going to use Map My Show and reach out and do, your marketing ahead of time so that buyers can plan too. Like, buyers, as Mike said, buyers want to plan their route of walking the show, but if they don't know you're there, they're not going to plan to do it. So
that's right.
We definitely want to educate everybody involved at the show.
I love that. I think of being at a show, and each booth should have a kill box in front of it. If you enter the kill box, there should be some kind of engagement. And I don't mean like, don't be a weirdo carny, carny type vendor, but like,
we have some fun things planned. We're going to, as buyers sign up and they get their badges and stuff, they're going to have tokens, different color tokens, and they can vote walking around on like best packaging, best this.
Oh, so cool.
And they can put them in a clear acrylic box so that people can actually visualize as they're walking, like, oh, why are they getting so many tokens or this or that? So we want to make the show engaging, where it forces the walkers to engage with the booths as they walk by.
Yeah, a little bit of gamification won't hurt.
Yeah, I was thinking like a wheel you can spin that has all the booth numbers on it, and then randomly it will give a booth number. If somebody lands on a booth number, they have to go visit it.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ideas. I mean, I was thinking something like the old dating game where a buyer sits behind a booth or sits behind a curtain and asks questions and make it fun and make it entertaining. So.
I love that. I mean, how much fun we had. I saw one of these trade shows where there was a giant panel of people and everyone got to say their piece, and everybody, it took like half an hour to get through the line, and then there was sampling things and there was a line forever. And I was like, dude, I just stood here for like an hour and a half and I'm not getting in that flipping food line. And I was like, it's so boring, but I love the idea, what you just said about that, like dating game, sort of behind the panel, buyer, vendor, brand, and let them interview each other and just have fun with it. It doesn't have to, they don't have to get married and go home together, but it's an opportunity that most people don't get. And that's what I think is really important about what you're building here with CPG X. If you're just coming in, you're freaking late, go sit in the back. But what you're building is, an opportunity to do things differently. And I think that I can only imagine it's going to get better and better and better as it goes.
Yeah, we're learning a lot. Trade shows are not cheap to put together. It's a big financial outlay. Nobody's planning their budget right now for 2027. So that's always a challenge. for us to start paying deposits and stuff like that, finding sponsors that are ready. We have a lot of verbal, like, oh, I'm interested, but then it's like, okay, talk to me in 8 months when you can, when you can pay or whatever. And that's why we're actually doing some things like Road to 1,000, where for the whole month of April, if you sign up and pay, you get a free upgrade from a 10x10 to a 20x10 booth space.
Nice.
So like,
It's cool.
It's a way to start incentivizing brands to get involved, to get signed up, and we're going to start advertising that so they get the most value out of that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mike, you said something earlier about the about keeping it simple, keeping it clean, keeping it clear. And I know from our point of view, when we talk about a brand or a brand story or everything that goes along with it, clarity means everything. And that to me, and this is where I think it gets super dicey in the expo world, is that you've got people at the booth who maybe have been with the company for a while, maybe interns, maybe as a founder who's, overly connected to it or under connected to it. But like, if you don't have that simple brand story ironed out, ironclad, locked down, everybody at that booth is going to hear a different version. And that's dangerous to me. Do you see a lot of that still happening in some of these shows where, folks are reinterpreting or reinventing the brand depending on who they're talking to or depending on who's behind the table?
If that's for me, that's a big question. The one of the big issues with brands and booths is they don't have a clear message, and it's not it's all, they're all over the board. And I look at it like this: walking a trade show is like walking into a Barnes and Noble or walking to a record store. Okay, you look around, and I don't care if you are 75, 45, 12, we all have attention spans of a second grader. So the buyers scour the room, look. If you don't catch their eye with that record cover, that book cover, you're dead. Unless they're looking for you, right? So and this is crazy at Expo, it's like, what the hell are you actually selling? What is this booth? It's right. All these words, and I've helped Shannon, if you want me to use the word help, cut back on the words because he's a wordy kind of guy. People like pictures, okay? Pictures are what it's at. Show the product, simple. If I got to sit there and go, what the hell is that? It should be 2 seconds. Look at a record cover. For you young folks that are listening or watching, Google record covers. 1980s, Kiss, Rush. We can go on. Def Leppard. Google that.
Right.
And you'll know what I'm talking about. Or a book, right? That's important. It's the same thing with trade shows. It should be simple. Peter, you touched on this. It doesn't matter that you have all the bells and whistles at a trade show. Simple. You have a clear message. It's really simple, and you are engaging with everyone. Back to CPG X, which I think is a brilliant idea. It was mine, and I hope Shannon does it. Ditch the name of the company that you work for and just have Mary S., Steve J., whatever it is, as a buyer. You could have a bodega in New York City, or you could be a Target buyer. Who gives a shit? I'm
probably going to do that, but the lanyard will be a different color if you're a buyer, service provider.
I got that. I got that. I'm saying that this is what everyone does. Who are you? Who are you?
Yes. Yeah. Should I talk to you?
Yeah. Right. Like, oh, you're not. But if it's a colored buyer lanyard and your name is Peter Jr. or Peter R. or Jeff L., and you're like, I don't know who this person is. You could be a one store operator, or you could have 100 stores. Let's treat everybody equal, folks. If you guys talk about you, but if all you people out there are the CEO and janitor the same, well, then put your money where your pie hole is, folks.
Yes.
How about that?
That's right.
That's well said.
I made that up.
Yeah, I like that. The old pie hole routine.
The pie hole.
Yes, I actually have a question for Shannon. You said like there's like a cap, like the typical brand that would be involved, right? So let's say $12 million, right? What's the real entry point? Like, where are they in their journey in terms of being able to really take advantage of what you're offering?
Yeah, so great question. And we're actually going to allow it from brands that are still in an incubator period, and they'll be able to have tabletop. We're going to have a tabletop section for, like, just getting started, or, something to that, where they don't even have, they have an idea of, we just have a proof of concept here at the show, and we want to show it, and we want to get our foot in the door, but we want to, just start getting people's feedback. It's a great place, and it's going to be an affordable tabletop where, buyers can walk around and be like, oh, I like where you're going. Like, oh, the packaging's awful or whatever. So this show is going to be for brands that are doing from, hey, I have an idea, I'd love to make grandma's recipe, to, we're doing 12 million and we just can't get over that hurdle. The ultimate goal is that most of these brands are only at this show for 2 to 3 years max, and they outgrow it. And it opens the door for other brands to allow them to come in and take that booth space. So that every year we have new emerging brands coming to the show, and we have brands that the reason they're not at our show isn't because they closed up and failed or whatever, but because they outgrew our show. So that's our ultimate goal with it.
Yeah, it's a great launch pad, right?
Yeah. I have a question for both of you, really, about, what drives growth these days. So in the current environment, the current CPG environment, and you can answer separately, or you can just mind meld and use one weird alien voice to do it. In today's CPG environment, what actually moves the needle?
I would say going deep before you go wide, understanding your customers, understanding who is buying your product, find a customer base, build your D2C, understand why they're buying your product, what they like about your product, and then figure out a way to take that and market it to everybody else. But at the end of the day, velocity is going to drive growth. And the only way to drive velocity is find the customers that are going to buy your product off the shelf. I believe I have a post going out tomorrow morning about buyers that go in and out of stores buying their product off of shelf, or going on Amazon and buying their own product. And it's like, those numbers aren't real. Like, if you stop doing that, those numbers aren't continuing to drive that growth. They're lies that you're using to build that. And but building that customer base, understanding who is buying your product, is the key to growth. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just going to add too, like, in terms of what you're saying, like, just understanding, how things are moving, like, especially on D2C sites, right? Just understand. I just made a comment recently, I think it was today, about there's a lot of just like boring back end stuff in that experience, right? That you need to do. It's store. It's just like any other store. You have to merchandise it. You have to look at what the trends are in terms of the way people are buying, to have that understanding, to be able to go out to the next level, let's just call it, to retail or to another channel, right? And so, part of that kind of like beginning stage is like we talk about too, is social proof, right? Like, are you building a community so that when you're presenting your brand to these buyers, you already have the data, you already have information and a community that's already exists that you can show them is there, and they can look at it. Right?
Mike, what do you have to say about all this?
I have a lot to say. Here's the problem. The problem is most retail CPG founders, brands don't know who their target market is. They create a product and then they think they're going to find it. It doesn't work that way. You create a product because of a target market, because you're speaking to one niche group. Okay, that's number one, and really the most important thing. Number two is most brands don't have any idea about social media and driving brand awareness. When you are at a grocery store retail among 35, 40,000 items, you are renting space. It is not free. Okay, you are paying a lot of money for that space. If you don't have the right air quote marketing and social media, there's no trials going on at retail. Someone's going to walk in there and say, that looks really good. Possibly, but it's a different conversation. And we had this on our little podcast this morning. Shannon and I are launching here. There's a plug for our podcast.
Nice.
Nice one.
Plug it real quick. We have no name. I think the name should be Did You Shower Today? That should be the name of the podcast.
That's a good one.
Right? Like, it's a cool name. Did You Shower
I like
Today?
it.
Right? Like, it's very engaging. I think that we should go that route. It'd be
You could. I'm
just
thinking also you might try chicken lips and ass parts. It's a compelling name.
It's hard to
compelling.
say.
Yes.
I'm willing to part with it for a fee.
All right, we could talk after.
Yeah.
So the one of the big issues is amongst a lot of issues is sales gets product on the shelf, marketing takes it off. At retail, it's really trial and error. The buyer doesn't know data about your product. They'll bring it in and try it out. How's the velocity? In food service alternative channel where I work and really play, it's small format. They've already done the convenience store, the micro market, the corporate campus has already done all of the vetting of the products because it's a small space. So in my opinion, and I don't want to go too much in the weeds, and I'm happy to talk to anyone on this that's listening or watching, reach out to me. And I have many conversations with retail brands. Retail is the ocean, and your lakes, rivers, ponds, and streams in your backyard is what you should own. And you guys have probably heard when I said this before, and Shannon has heard this today. I equate it, and I'm an analogy kind of guy. I equate it very, very simple. See, he just got pissed off. He left.
Yeah, you made him mad.
He looked nervous. I saw his eyes shifting
Yeah,
around.
he's nervous with me.
It looked like there was somebody else though in the room where, like,
He'll come back.
Wow, that's room. So I like analogies, and if you're a 7-8-year-old boy playing baseball, football, basketball, and your mom or dad say how great you are, why do you want to play pee-wee football or t-ball? You're so great. Let's go after. There he is.
No idea what just happened. Everything on my screen just all disappeared.
You probably have an implant somewhere in your nose at this point.
You blacked out.
It probably just heard Mike talking still. It's like, we're out.
Yeah, it was like 5 hours later, Shannon came back and thought it had only been 30 seconds.
My soliloquy here. Anyway, I'll wrap it up with retail brands need to play in the space that is appropriate for them. If you are coming out of your mother's womb, you're not going to be running. Let's be real. You're going to start laying there, then you're going to crawl, and you're going to fall, and you're going to walk, and you're going to fall. So own your backyard as opposed to get into Target. Big deal. What does that mean? You can't afford it, and you can't support them. That's what I love.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Jeff, do we have a trivia thing we were going to give away today? Because I want to make sure before we go today that these guys have a chance to let everybody know more about who they are, where they can be found. We'll dox you. We'll put your address in the show notes shortly after this. But that's sort of stuff. What's our trivia thing today? And is it another Amazon surprise prize?
It is. It's a surprise box. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the question is, and I have some supporting imagery here. How old was actor John Ashton when they filmed Beverly Hills Cop?
I know that answer.
Whoa.
Well, the time period was the 80s.
Yes.
And it's a stunner, I'll tell you, when you get the answer right. It is a stunner. This is the part of the. Hey, I also just wanted to mention we'll be seeing Mr. Robert Kogan drift back onto the show. He has been sick as a dog. So we wish him Godspeed in his recovery. And, it's hopefully maybe he's listening, although probably the doctor has asked him not to. All right, Richard Moniz and Steven have quite a gap there between 3 and 37.
3 years old would be incorrect, I think.
42 from Gavin. Remember, it's an actor. It's the 80s, and
Yes.
the 80s aged people like milk left on a radiator. So, my guess is he was 24 based on this picture.
I see.
Yeah,
that would be incorrect.
Can I guess?
I don't think you should, because you knew. I'm going to say it's between Richard Moniz's answer and who was the one above him, Stefan.
Oh yeah,
it's between there.
It's getting closer, but no cigar.
Oh, Moniz comes in.
Richard Moniz, 36 is the answer.
He is not going to have to work anymore with the amount of prizes we have to send over the border to him. He's probably just going to live off the things we send him.
I know.
Oh my God.
Boy.
Jeff, should we hit these guys with a couple of rapid fire questions?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay. Why are a dog's lips pink, Mike?
It matches their asshole.
How did I not know that you would just have that answer right out of the gate?
All right. God, that's horrible.
Hey, Shannon, what do you think best quality in a founder is? You've got 4 seconds. Go.
Grit and resilience.
All right. Jeff, you want to throw a few of these around?
What's the worst quality in a founder?
Grit and resilience.
Is this for me or Mike?
Could be, Mike. Let's just go. What's the worst? This is perfect for you.
It's really simple. There are two. There's dumbass and assholes.
Okay.
Just like a dog's lips. See, remember what I said? Chicken lips and ass parts, the podcast.
Yes.
Also known for short as the Hot Dog Show.
Right.
Okay. Shannon, what is one signal that a brand is ready to pop?
Oh.
Doesn't have to be the one. It could be anyone.
There's so many things. I would, it's back to the founder just putting the time in. There's an old saying, and going off track here for a second, but someone was like, "Hey, I want to," kid went to the master and said, "Hey, I want to learn everything you can do," and master was like, "Okay, like come see me on Sunday." He's like, "Well, I'm not available. I don't work on Sundays. Like I don't." And it's like, well, then you don't really want to do this. Like, founders are putting in the time all the time. Like, and that was very different pre-COVID versus now. I don't think I think there's a lot of founders that don't know what it is to grind it out and be put in a corner anymore. Like that.
Okay.
Yeah. What does the CPG world need more of right now?
Micah, that's to you.
The CPG world needs more of people stop making Me Too products. How about that?
That's good. Yes.
I was going to say a breath mint based on my recent experience.
With protein in it. You got to do protein.
With protein and creatine as well.
Yeah, there you go. A creatine protein breath mint.
Yeah, that's
gluten-free.
Toilet paper protein.
All right. Toilet paper. Protein toilet paper. I love it. You just take it in through your backside. Sweet. Oh my God.
Back to asses. Here we go.
I know. So, all right. This is the last part here before we have to go. Somebody finish this lyric for me. All the world's indeed a stage. We are merely players, performers, and portrayers. And the final line is,
I got
I'll give you a hint.
Hold on, can you sing it?
No, I've been banned from singing in the continental United States. I'm not allowed.
Can you mime it?
I would. So all the world's Indeed a stage. It's going to be hard to figure out because when I speak it, it's a nightmare. Somewhere my wife is doubled over in pain in her stomach. She hates this. We are merely players, performers, and portrayers.
Right.
I know the song.
Each another's blank, 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 blank.
Right.
No clue.
Okay. The last line of that is each another's audience outside the gilded cage, living in the limelight, universal dream.
Yes.
Rush.
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack.
I thought that would be shooting fish in a barrel, man. You know?
It is.
All right. So will you guys sing Tom Sawyer to send us out today? Would you mind doing that together? In a 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. I didn't think it would happen. All right. Now, guys, how can people find you and reach you?
Yes.
You know,
LinkedIn, website, joincpgx.com. So yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
FSOctopus.com.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There it is. Short, simple, and sweet. I've got a few things to say to you too once we get off this live show. So just don't tell me. Okay. For the rest of you, well, thanks for coming and spending, the last 58 minutes with Shannon and Mike and Jeff and I. You are not going to get those moments back for the afternoon. They're gone. We've taken them. And we hope to see you next time. Jeff, who's our guest next week? Is it Johnny Depp?
It's a mystery guest.
Is it Al Haig?
I think it's River Phoenix.
River Phoenix? God.
It's Larry Bud Melman. It's going to be the guest.
Larry Bud Melman, don't you?
That'd be really cool.
That would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah.
All right. We lost our chance to have Anton LaVey on, although I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not quite done. You know who we should have on is Bob Lazar. That's who. Rod will help me do that.
Yeah.
We're going to have Bob Lazar on. Okay.
Bob Lazar would be
all right.
great.
I don't know if we have anybody next week, but if anybody's got a suggestion for somebody that's sitting around with nothing to do in the afternoon on a Thursday, let us know who they are. Otherwise, Jeff and I are just going to come on here and talk like, I don't know, like lovers do, I suppose.
Oh, that's gross.
No. That's another song quote. Anybody? The song? Talk to me like lovers do.
Yes, I know.
Eurythmics, baby. The Eurythmics.
I
Steve Stewart. God's sakes, wake up. Last thing I'm going to say about today is this, okay? And hear me clearly.